It's showtime. What's up, historians? Welcome back to Season 4, Historically Haunted Vodcast, Episode 10 on this 2024. So not quite 666, but we got a crazy episode full of some good shit for you. And I'll tell you, this episode, this season rather, is brought to you by, for the second season in a row, trucker Donnie Green at Bauer Green Logistics. You know who Donnie Green is? You ever seen Pet Cemetery? You remember that big red truck and the dude singing the Ramones and he kills that kid Gage? Donnie drove that truck. I'm his booking agent for Historically Haunted Booking. You want to get Donnie? You want to get that truck, that Red Orinco Peterbilt truck to shows? Message the show. As long as Moonlight Monster Media for sending me their shirt. Another one of my clients, they made a movie on Tubi. He sent me a signed autographed DVD of that Steeds Ridge. It's been on Tubi. Another one of my clients, Dustin Grammer. A newer client that I just got. He's probably be tuning in the show in a minute. What's up, Brian? Viper Paranormal sent me his hat. I love gifts. I love when people send me stuff. That's killer. So shout out to you, dude. I appreciate you, Brandon Golding. You'll be on the show. He helped me load Annabelle up in the Warren convention in Mohegan Sun. Tony Sparrow let me and him load Annabelle up on stage, and that's how I met Brandon. And he's been watching the show for 2 years straight. What's up, Brian from California? Appreciate you. And also shout out to John Green Logistics Company sending me their towel there. I got in the back. See it? Jay, right there. John Green Logistics. They also sponsor the show. Trucking company. You want transportation? You want prostitutes? You want weed? You want illegal rum? Hit them up. They'll bring it for you. Stolen cars. They'll bring it all. Transporting. Just kidding. Edit. So also, what a sponsor of the week is. She is an author, and if I get her name right now because I'm kind of stoned. But check it out. I'll mention it in a minute. So my guest is also a client of mine, so to speak, Scott Allan, the Boston psychic medium. He is host of Spirit Talk with Scott Allan. He was a candle maker. I'm not sure if that's still going on, but he kind of did that sort of stuff. He's involved in the Warren Legacy Foundation. You guys remember I was part of that? I was the Northeast historian for the Warren Legacy Foundation led by Chris McKinnell. I ended up declining after about a year and a half, and I gave it up. But Scott is now a member. He's a psychic medium. Great family there. It's led by Ed and Lorraine's grandson, Judy Warren's son, her only son, Chris McKinnell, who I've met. I had breakfast with in Monroe, Connecticut when I met him 3 years ago. Chris is good people. So shout out to the Warren Legacy Foundation, Ken Torres, all those good people. So without further ado, I'm not reading a teleprompter either. Here is the host of Spirit Talk Live with Scott Allan, Boston medium Scott Allan, the man Scott Allan. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, Adam? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Just coming off a show last night. You got a live show in my territory, Augusta, Maine, tomorrow. Show tonight.
Tomorrow night.
You don't stop, brother.
Yeah, right up in Augusta tomorrow night. Yeah. Yep. We have 4 seats left. We're up the it's a place called Merkaba Soul. It's right in the city somewhere. I don't know. I'll find out tomorrow when I get up there.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Augusta's
the state capital. Check it out, historians. A lot of good stuff to see. Check out the show. Tell them you saw the show here. You're going to be there with psychic medium Chris Brown. I know Chris. So that's going to be a good show. Right. I mean, you're on tour constantly, dude. You're doing stuff with Kristen,
all over the place.
Aaron Cato. Right?
Who's that?
What's her? I forget her. Cato, right? I know her name.
Is that really her name? Is that Kristen? Kristen. I don't know.
I forget who you were on with. She messaged me. I might have messed her name up. I probably just blew that. I'm sorry. But you're doing a lot.
Right. I don't know.
Just did a lot of stuff. You just did stuff with like Hillview Manor. I just saw you.
Yeah, we were just there.
Where do you find the time, dude? You're just on fire.
I don't know. It's great though. I've been invited, and so it's fun. I went to Hillview Manor. I did a gallery there and did some readings during the day, but I'm getting invited to different places. I'm also going to be, as I know you are too, at the Connecticut Paracon in July. We'll be there for a couple of days, and I'll be at Mass Paracon in Fairhaven, Mass. And that's, I think that's October at some point, September, October.
I just missed you at the Salem Con last year by like an hour.
I know. I showed up on the last day, and, I was going to go, and I was all set to do, to be there, but they have this rule about doing galleries and readings if you're not licensed in the city. And I said, well, what's the point of me being there if I can't do what I do? So I backed out of that, and Charles was great and he invited me to Connecticut to be a part of that, which I'm very grateful for. And Tom, which, we both know Tom.
Thomas Patrick. And so they don't have those rules in Connecticut then, apparently.
They don't even have them in Massachusetts. It's just Salem. So, I'm not going to go and take part in something. I mean, no offense to them. It's just the city's telling me I can't do what I do. Why go? you know. So I backed out, but I said to my son, let's go do something. And we ended up going down, and I figured we'd meet everybody and visit Kreskin, say hello to the amazing Kreskin who was down there at the time.
Yes.
You were gone. You were already gone by then, so I missed you.
Yes, I just missed you, but I met Kreskin the day before. He's still got it,
Yeah.
dude. I love that guy. He's pretty funny.
I'm telling
He's a
you.
comedian.
Yeah.
People, you know, if you know, but he's a magician comedian.
Right,
He had a
right,
game
right.
named after him.
Yeah. he's
So I
something
got to
else.
ask you, man. Well,
Yep.
before we get some people checking on now, appreciate you guys checking on. Have any questions for Scott? Ask him. But I want to ask you, Scott.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I already know the answer, but I want my audience to know. Where did this all start for you, my friend? Was this something in early? Is this bequeathed to you from a family member, or?
Yeah. Well, the whole family member thing, maybe. You know, I have a feeling my grandmother may have had something, but she was very Catholic. She would not have talked about it. There would not have been. There was no indication. And all of this stuff, I look back in hindsight, I see things. It was there my whole life. But I was a funeral director. I mean, I owned 3 funeral homes at one time. I worked in, the funeral business for, God, I mean, I started when I was 16 and I got out about 12, 13 years ago. So, it was a long time that I did that. And this whole mediumship thing, it was percolating. You could feel it. Things were happening. I was noticing things. I had built this new funeral home on this property that I had purchased from the Archdiocese, the Diocese of Worcester. There had been a home there 100 years before that burned down in a fire. And we built it, this brand new building. And I'm sitting up in my office and I'm hearing like spirits walking up and down the stairs and down the hall. And I said, man, this place must be haunted, except nobody else could hear it. It was just me. And I could feel it. Like I could feel it around me. I knew they were there. And sometimes it was just darn loud. I mean, you could hear them walking around like heavy feet across the floor upstairs and everything, but nobody else really noticed it. So there was stuff like that, or I'd be thinking of someone and the next day I got a call that they died. Things like that would happen a lot. And then, I got out. I had been looking to get out for a while, and I did. And that's when it really like ramped up. And it didn't ramp up until I'd gone on my first paranormal investigation, because when you're a funeral director, you don't do that. You don't go ghost hunting. They want you to fit this mold. And that was always the problem I had with it, is it was really difficult to be authentically me. I had to, it was the Lions Club. It was that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I had a friend.
It's the image, I guess. It doesn't look good doing that. I guess.
And I'm going to tell you, from a very early age, you're taught that everything you do, you live in a fishbowl. So everything you do will reflect on the business, and you have to act a certain way. And it was tough. I gave up a lot of years of my life. And I remember I had met someone while I was still at the funeral home, and she used to do ghost hunting. And this was before ghost hunters. So they would like break into buildings, go and find places that were abandoned and go in. There were no places to really go and investigate back then. And I said, I can't do that. That's all I need, is to be out in the newspaper, sneaking into buildings and stuff. So I never got involved. And then when I got out, a friend of mine said that she was going to do an investigation somewhere and wanted to know if I wanted to go. And man, well, my first thought was like, really? Because I thought I was sort of like age-wise over that. You know what I mean? Like I grew up, right? So I really didn't have a sense of it, And but she was older than me, and she was retired. And I figured, well, she's a little older, a little overweight. At least if I can outrun her, I'm good, right? Like as long as I'm the first one out of the building and not the last one out of the building. So like, because I had absolutely no idea what to expect. And we got in, and we were in this hallway, and it's on my YouTube channel, Spirit Talk Live. If you go on the YouTube channel, you'll see it. It's on one of the videos, and it says, do you know anybody's name here? And there were about 15 of them. They all started calling my name. Like I said to my friend, I said, is that normal? So, well, every once in a while they'll say my name. Like they kind of know who you are, but not like this. I mean, it was like Scott. It was crazy. And it is on my YouTube
Pink
channel.
Floyd video or something.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. But even then, I thought it was kind of cool.
At one point,
Go ahead.
Do you second guess yourself at all? You know what I mean? Like, do you think, all right, am I really hearing this? Like, do you think, not that you're crazy, but like,
yeah, no. That's
just,
the real deal.
Yeah.
That's the real deal. And a lot of people that go through this feel the same way. But that wasn't it for me. I thought that was cool. I went on a few more investigations, and I bought some pieces, the guitar. I want to build a portal. So I got the guitar amp and the noise gate pedal and, all that kind of stuff. And I put it together. I'm at my house, which isn't haunted, and all of a sudden I turn it on and it says, "Talk to Scott." And I said, "I'm Scott. What's your name?" Oh, yeah, there we are right there. Actually, I don't know if you can play it. Well, I don't have that on there. But talk to Scott. And I said, "I'm Scott. What's your name?" And the message was, "This is David." And actually, I could play that for you because you know what? I'm plugged in here. Hang on a second. Let me find it because this is kind of cool. This was the very first time. And I had recorded it, and I started recording after that because I wanted people to, I needed to know if I had lost my mind. You know what I mean? Let me see. I want to make sure I'm not playing music. Where's the music coming from? Okay, there we go. All right. So this is it. This was the first time. Would it be possible? I'm Scott. I'm Scott. What is your name? I'm Scott. David. Huh? David. And then it was David like all the time. All the time. Everywhere I went, David would show up. I'm in my car. He's there. I started recording it because it was like literally everywhere. And I thought, man, I'm losing my mind. Here's another one. I hadn't heard from him for a while.
To you? Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Well, I'll tell you, I've got a resolution to this. It's really cool. I was.
Oh shit!
He hadn't shown up for like 3 weeks, and I said to someone, "Where is this David? Like he's not here." And we were on an investigation, and I said, "David, where are you?" Kind of like I had other people around me, just being like, "Where'd you go? Where are you?" And this is what I got on the portal. Can you tell me your name? It's back. David's back.
David's back. Oh shit!
I mean, that's some freaking crazy EVP stuff, right? Like, it was on the portal, but I mean, I don't even remember where that was. It was insane.
Wow, and then, Scott, that's wild.
It was wild, and it was constant. Like I would hear my name, like not just on a spirit box, like in the room with me, Scott. Wow. Hello. And don't be surprised if you go back on this if they're not on this either, because I do my show, and every once in a while we'll catch people like, "Hi, Scott. Hi, Scott."
Wow.
And
it's almost like he's like almost like your afterlife friend in a way, or big brother or something.
Well, he is, and he is. I'm gonna find one more for you while we're talking.
Real quick, everybody's checking in. I want to give shout outs here. Kristen, Brandon Goldie, what's up, everyone? Kristen Marie, photographer for the says hello. George DeCosta checking in from Columbus, Ohio. Someone's got a question. We'll get to your question right quickly, Brian.
I just got back from Ohio.
That's right. Oh yes, Hillview Manor. I actually, right.
Well, that was Pennsylvania, but
Pennsylvania. You went to the Bel Air House.
But I was there the week before too, because we were filming Dark Echo. So we went to Madison Seminary, Belair House. Yeah, Kristen. Yep.
Kristen's good people.
She was, I don't know that she's watching, but I loved her. She was a wonderful woman. We had a
awesome.
really nice
dogs.
chat.
Everybody says hello.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Scott, if you don't mind, because Brian asked us a little bit ago, and I want to get to his question for you. Are those spirits in those homes normally transient? Do they stay? I guess it kind of ties in with.
I'm assuming she means funeral homes. Is that what you mean? I imagine.
I would think funeral homes, because no one dies in a funeral home. Their body.
No, I don't even think there was. Right? Just my own impression is I don't think it was anybody from the funerals. I think it was. I think it was other stuff.
Random Jots of some old school place.
I think it was. I really think it was the. What do you call it? Just like whatever was there on that property before there was a house there years ago. That's what I think I was picking up on. Yeah. No, Brian. I mean, I've been in a lot of funeral homes, and generally speaking, they're not really haunted by the people unless there's some trauma or something. I own 3, and there was only one that really had any activity, and I think it was the brand new one. Cool. It was the brand new one too. It was one I built from the ground up, and I think it was because it was on that property where there was an old home. All the others, they don't want to hang out with us. You know what I mean? If they're gonna haunt, they're gonna go somewhere else.
Karen Tato. Karen Tato?
Oh, Karen Tatro.
Tato?
Yeah.
Tatro. Shit,
Yeah,
I fucked her name up, and I get it now. Yes.
Yes.
She talks to me. She's cool, people. Yes.
Yeah, I love Karen. She and I do a lot
You
of
do a
galleries
lot with her, too.
together.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It just hit me like a bullet.
Yep, that's who it is. Yeah.
I think you just shot at my brain.
No, that's all right. Yeah. No, tomorrow is Chris Brown, but then next Thursday night, we're in Westport, Mass, Karen and I. The following week on the 21st, we're at the Bull Run
Oliver
in
House.
Shirley. What's that?
Oliver House is coming up. I've been there. Oliver House in Moulton Borough.
That's going to be August. That's Stacia. That's Stacia and I are going to be.
That's your guest from yesterday, guys. Go check that show out. I shared.
She's awesome.
Yes. Good episode.
And she is going to be with me at Oliver House, and then the next night we're at the Enfield Demon House, and then we're doing a gallery the following day there as well. So we've got a full weekend planned there. Three events that weekend, and we're going to be out in Clifton at the Clifton Theater in Huntington, Pennsylvania, at the end of this month.
Irene,
to raise money for that.
Not
we're
Irene,
raising
but,
money.
Ariel.
Ariel. Yep. Ariel. Yeah, Ariel. Yep, exactly. I think Irene's going to be there after, I think in August sometime. Yeah. I think she's scheduled to be there. And then we're raising money for the Fisher House in Boston. I don't know if you're familiar with Fisher House.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
You've heard of it. Yeah. So they give veterans families a place to live when the veterans come to Boston to have treatment at one of the hospitals. And it's being sponsored by the American Legion in Hanson, Mass. So they asked me to come down. We're doing a gallery there. So if anybody's looking, all of this is on my website. It's a great cause. The money goes to help right to the Fisher House. And that's on my website, which is mediumscottallan.com. And mediumscottallan.com. My son's sitting here with me, so I'm waiting to find out when he needs to go because someone's coming to pick him up. So I keep checking the text messages here to make sure. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. No, you're good. I was trying to look up that site.
Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool. So we are. It's been fun.
I'm gonna ask you something. Hello, Alexis here, checking in. Brandon, I know you're checking in. Appreciate your hat, bro. I gotta ask you, Scott. What is at this point? You're nailing off bucket list stuff. Do you have a bucket list location in America that you haven't been? Whaley House or something?
Yeah, like paranormal.
Seems like you've been all over, dude.
I have been, but you know what? I'll tell you, it's are you sticking in your face in here? There he is. Aye, okay.
Hey, buddy.
See you later, bud. Go sit down somewhere. You know, it's funny. I enjoy it, but I really feel like my message is changing. I feel like my work is changing. And it's not so much. I mean, I enjoy the paranormal on a personal level. You know what I mean? I enjoy doing that. But that's not really where I'm at. That's not really where my future is. I think my future is in the spiritualist world of doing readings for people. There's a lot of healing that goes with that. And, I just spent a weekend.
Man. You help some people. That's why Chris, I read your reviews that you share and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You guys follow you. And Chris McKennell speaks very highly of you. That's why he wanted you to join the legacy.
Yeah, Chris,
That's a big name.
Chris, nice man. Yeah, he is. He's a good man.
You're making headway. You did anyway, but dude, you're lighting on fire. This is great.
I was in Naples, Florida over February, one weekend in February. I did an event down there, and that was not a paranormal event at all. It was a spiritualist community, that had me come down. So I feel like things are changing a bit. And I don't, you know what I mean? Well, I'll probably still do it to a certain degree, but that's not where I feel like my work is headed. Do you know what I mean?
Labeling yourself a paranormal investigator.
I'm really not. And we're at a metaphysical place tomorrow night. It's not a paranormal place. It's a metaphysical place.
Oh,
and we're
really?
we're at a restaurant on Thursday. We're at a restaurant the following week. So it's not really a lot of that kind of stuff.
4 tickets left, guys. Jump on those 4.
Jump on mediumscottallan.com, ALLAN, and hop on and you'll see events, courses, and trainings, and just click on that and grab 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the last tickets. That's it. Yeah. Tomorrow night,
you're cool
it's 5:30. What's that?
You'll meet people after the show. People want to talk to you, maybe in person, set up
an
appointment for a reading, obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, we have a good time. There's Danny. Hey, Danny. How are you?
What's up, Enchantress Samai from Connecticut? Thanks for your black salt. I put that around my doorways to keep out the spirits and stuff. Danny Perez, Danny, I'm drinking out of your mug, brother. Yes, good show last week in New Hampshire. Thank you for your spirit board out of Coffinwood. Such great people, George Acosta. So there's someone I know, and he's a glorious weirdo. I think you know him too. You guys are part on so many miles since you're both running with, am I wrong? Dark Echoes Paranormal TV,
this
correct?
Is true.
You know this guy,
this
right?
Is true. I do. There he is.
You guys are you're both running with the devil, so to speak, man. I can't get too much into it. I'll let you, Scott, take the sleigh. But what can you tell us about everything?
Well, it's funny because I had an event last December with Karen at this place in New Bedford, Mass. We were doing a gallery, and I was looking for someone to. This is how things work out. It's kind of weird. I was looking for someone to film it because I wanted to get some clips, and I had just been to the Salem Paracon, and I ran into Dave Childers, and I know he does photography. And I said, Dave, do you do filming? He said, oh, yeah, I'd love to. But he said, I'm booked out like way past the end of the year. He said, I do know somebody that does it. Let me see if he's available. So he put me in touch with Matt Kondracki, who is the host and film person, producer, I guess, if you want to call it that, for Dark Echoes. And I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know who he was. He just showed up with this truck with lighting and sound and cameras. And I was like, holy crap, who's this guy? And he filmed. And when we were done, he said, that was really great. He said, I have a TV show. I don't know if you'd be interested in coming on it. It's on Amazon Prime and Paraflix, and it's called Dark Echoes, and we hire mediums. And I said, yeah, okay, sure. He says, well, I'll have somebody get back to you. The odd thing is I didn't hear from them for a few weeks. And then I got a phone call. Can you be in, I don't even know where, because they don't tell you where you're going. They want you to go in blind. So somewhere in Pennsylvania. I still to this day do not know where we were going. But tragedy hit his family. His cousins' children were all killed in a terrible house fire. Just family. Before we were supposed to film. It was horrific. And this is where those little synchronicities come through. So I'm like, oh my God, there's no way we're going to film. And I knew that, I didn't know if it was going to get rescheduled. I didn't know what was going to happen. The next day, a cousin of mine puts a post on Facebook how he was so sorry to hear about the 4 children that passed in the fire. And he said, I grew up in that house. My dad grew up in that house. My dad died in that house. And I said, wait a minute. That's the house you lived in? He says, yeah, I grew up in that house. That house is the same house that his nephews or cousins, I guess it is, lived in, and the kids were killed. So just weird synchronicities. So then I had a guy ready to go with me. And meet me out there, and because we were going on a weekend. And then they called back and said, well, can you do, I don't even know what day it was, the end of January, the 22nd or something. And he wasn't available because it was a work day, So I just put on Facebook, I said, hey, anybody want to go on a road trip? I'm filming a TV show. And Tom's like, I'll go. I said, all right, let's go. And that was it. And we had a great trip counting churches and dead deer all the way to Huntington, Pennsylvania, because that's about all there is, churches and dead deer. That's it. There's
you guys
not
travel
much
by
out
night
there.
or day, I forget. You leave at night or during the day, in the morning?
No, we drove in the morning, right? Or did we have a whole, I don't know.
No,
we had the day before.
We went the day before. We left at lunchtime because we had lunch.
Got to be 12-hour drive, 20-hour drive.
Oh, it's a big hug.
You going?
Bye, buddy.
Okay. All right. See you later, Nick. Have a good one.
People always get their kids and cats jumping on. I love it, dog.
Do me a favor, Nicholas. Lock this door.
That must have been what, Thomas? A 20-hour drive, right?
Oh God,
no.
It was
12?
6.
6? Oh,
yeah.
Guys, stay tuned. I'll be right back.
All right. I'll continue this story. I'll continue part of it, I guess. So, he came to my house, and we knew we had a 6-hour drive. Came in the afternoon because we were going the day before, so we knew we didn't have to be there right away. So we came, we had lunch and all that, and hung out, and then we decided to, set sail on the trip. And, you get halfway through the trip, and then it got dark, and after, when things get dark, that's when things get crazy. So luckily, luckily, Scott is a medium psychic. So we're driving along in the headlights and we're talking, and I turned and Scott said, "Look out." And I look up and there's a deer, and I just stopped, just barely missed the deer. I thought we were going to have like a very bad road trip if we hit that deer. And I keep saying,
Yeah,
Like a deer in headlights, the ultimate right?
But it's funny. I said, well, luckily I had a psychic in the car with me. I probably would have hit that.
I don't think that was psychic. I think that was just, what is that thing? You know, I drove home from West Virginia on Monday of this week, I think. And it was just one after another, after another, after another. They were just everywhere. It was unbelievable. Just on the side
Mass
of the road.
suicide, mass deer suicide.
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Now that was
That's
a 14-hour ride.
Yeah. Oh.
So you guys, I mean, obviously we can't talk a lot about, but you guys are not just one-hit wonders. You guys are kind of in it for the long haul with these guys, correct?
We didn't know if it was going to be one or two or one and done, because what they were doing was they were saying that they wanted to have on each show a different medium. Sometimes it worked out. Sometimes you know what I mean, like a guest medium. They had their crew, their core crew, but they wanted to have a guest medium on each one, and that was the one that I did, and then some worked out better than others, and I think it's just a question of like people's unfoldment, where they are in the process. You know what I mean? Whether they're completely open, or not open, or we're all different. But it worked out okay. They had guest investigators, which is why Tom got involved. Well, at some point there was a change in some of the casting. Some people left, new people came in, that kind of thing. And he had me come out to film an episode in Bath. He said, Bath, Pennsylvania. So he says, "Would you do a second episode?" And I said, "Sure." And you came too, Tom. You were there on that one as well. We went out to the.
Of course.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of the place, but it was Bath. He kept calling it a bathhouse. I'm like, Jesus, we're gonna go investigate a bathhouse, but it wasn't. It was a house in Bath.
Well, the Bath Exchange.
Oh fuck! I'm
Bath
thinking like
Exchange.
an old school shower scene.
Yeah, no, that's what I was afraid of, but it wasn't.
No, that was the Bath Exchange. It used to be a hotel way back in the day, and now it's like a bar and grill now.
Connecticut?
No, Pennsylvania. Bath,
Pennsylvania.
Oh no shit! I had no idea. No, I don't.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. Yeah, so we did that, and then I ended up filming in Enfield, Connecticut, at the Enfield Demon House, and that was wild. And then I ended up doing one. That's 1, 2, 3. I did. What was the other one? Oh, I went to Orleans, Mass. I did another one in Orleans. I was not. That's on Cape Cod. I was not the medium on that. Stephen, the medium from he's on the Cape. He's from New Bedford and the Cape. He was the medium, and I kind of came in after the fact. It was interesting because I was just there as guest investigator. I was not there, but you can't turn it off. So it was funny because we went into one of the rooms, and I was getting it was the name Rosa and Holly. And I thought Tammy was gonna, she looked at me. She went, "Oh my God, that's exactly what Steven said. Rosa and Holly, and that was kind of cool."
Tammy Radon, right? Radon, something like that, right?
Oh no, Tammy Radon is from. No, she's a friend of mine. She's been on my show. She's
I'm
from.
sorry, I know I've seen that name. That's why.
No, she's from. I don't know, like Oklahoma or something like that.
No kidding.
She's out there. Yeah, she's always running from.
You got fucking people everywhere, dude. Holy cow!
I do. It's crazy, and it's funny because people will write. When are you coming to Long Island? When are you coming to New Jersey? When are you coming back to Ohio? I'm going to be in Ohio in October. I'm going to be at Billy's Martini Bar in October. I'm doing an event there in October in Cleveland. So for anybody who's around, who was from Cleveland? Was that no Columbus? George was from Columbus, right?
Columbus, Ohio. Yeah,
Columbus.
That must be close, right? I mean.
Well, it's closer than here. It's closer than here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you, Scott, real quick. Is this your first time coming to Maine ever, or?
No, I've gone to Parafest, Maine a couple of times. This is the first time doing an event.
With the Hartfords and stuff.
Yeah. This is the first time doing an event. Yeah, I've not done an event there, but Chris and I have been trying to work together. We had some stuff that kind of got screwed up with, I don't know if it was COVID or what, but things kind of got fouled up. So. We said let's do it up that way instead of down this way, and it panned out. It's been going to be a great success, I think.
Maine's got some open arms, that's for sure. Maine's gonna welcome you. I'm not from Columbus, but I work there. Oh, George is from Florida, but he flies all over the fucking place. George is awesome. He'll buy all your stuff. George always buys my. As soon as someone's on the show, he buys their shirts. So you like George? He's a good people.
George, want a candle?
Aaron, by the way, Alexis Aaron, thank you for your incense. I keep getting gifts.
There you go.
I can't help it. But yeah, man, you're all over the place. So you're willing to do pretty much anything as long as the person's credible. And as long as the travel's within reason and hopefully covered for the most part, right?
Well, here's the thing. So yeah, I will. I'll travel anywhere. I do private house events and things like that. I don't do a lot of those out of town, just because it's just cost prohibitive by the time you get hotel and that kind of stuff. But if I travel somewhere, I'm not looking to make a fortune. I just need to be able to get my expenses covered. Whether it's my hotel for the night or whatever. That's all.
Yeah.
So
simple.
And you gamble a little bit. You book an event in Augusta, you don't know if you're going to get 10 people or 40 people. You don't know. And sometimes you just have to gamble on it a little bit. But I love going. I love traveling. I love being out there and meeting people all over the place, which is really great.
See, that's what I like about you. You're not, because I've seen a lot of psychic mediums. I'm not going to lie. I've seen the TV ones with my mom, rest her soul. She loved all them fucking people. What's his name? What's the guy who's like he's like really like everybody thinks he's handsome. John something or whatever. I think
John Edward.
John Edwards. Oh, we have to go see him. I don't know. I feel like if you were to meet him, he'd snub you off. Like I feel like you're approachable. Is what I'm trying to say.
I think what. So let me say this to you. And I don't know him at all. I've met some really wonderful people who do this. I think that sometimes fame goes to your head.
I agree.
Tom, come back and talk to Tom and I after season 2, and we'll see if we're willing to still have a conversation with you. Well, I don't know. I don't know. But seriously,
you should look it down there. There are no promises.
I'll never change. I'll never change. I've been at this for 40 years, and I'm still the same person. Just a little more.
To help the people first and foremost. You're not in it for a buck. You're in it to help, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the difference,
angel, man.
I'm going to tell you the difference, and at least in terms of the medium part of it, Tom is a great guy, and that's why I've enjoyed, traveling and doing, the shows together.
I can see that. Odd couple, but really different. I can see it, but you guys, I can see that. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's great. But I don't care, I don't care. I'm doing a show with Chris Brown. He and I joke, he's like, I tell everybody he's my identical twin brother. I mean, could not be further from the truth. He's got the beard and the hair and these.
Dude, me and him sang in the same metal band. I sang in Clung the Herd for 5 years, and he joined it when I quit. And we did a song together at my friend's funeral. Ken Fortin died. We sang together on stage. I know Chris. I went to Parsonsfield. I've known him for years. Real quick, Alexis, you're welcome for bringing on your stuff and your candles and all that shit. You want to see what's funny, Alexis? I get your candle right now. George, not George, but Scott, do you still do candles? Check this one out.
I do.
My last bucket's on fire.
There it is. I do. My candles are called Sense of Fear. SCENTS of fear.com. They're all paranormally themed, but they're not scary. Yes. They're clever. Like Scared Sheet. SHEET. Scared Sheet smells like fresh laundry, linen. You know what I mean? Those kinds of things. They're kind of cutesy. But www.senseoffear. And you can get it from my regular website, but it's senseoffear.com. Yeah. So I love traveling and I love doing this. I got a lot of stuff booked up. We're booking up now right into the fall and looking at a big event next March, which remains to be announced, but I'll just say that for now. Several mediums and it's gonna be a good thing. That's the Bull Run. That's Karen. That's the Bull Run in Shirley. That's next Thursday at Whites of Westport. Go on my website. You'll see them all right there. mediumscottallan.com.
Yeah. All right, we'll get there. There we go. Oh, it's a different view now. Thanks, StreamYard. Missy Lowe, real quick shout out to her. Paranormal 5. She's running an event me and Heather are going to be at this weekend.
Excellent.
The 14 Fest in Sanford. Heather from Witch and Life Guide. It's about aliens and monsters. So I'll be there set up. It's my first event, really. So I'm kind of pumped about it. These things are new to me. The first one I was really at was a Salem one with you guys. And it's kind of nerve-wracking. But Scott, do you agree? Is it fun? That's fun, right? It's you meet new people.
So it's social. Cool. It's fun. It's fun. We just did Hillview. It wasn't like that. I mean, it was fun, but it was different than I thought. It was more of a psychic fair than a Paracon, so I wasn't sure what to expect. In fact, I was booked up with readings before I even got there, so I really didn't see a lot of people. They just had people show up. They would send them down at their appointed time, and that was it. Then I did the gallery and got to meet a few more people at that time. But the Paracons are fun.
It is fun. See, that's cool. Thomas, you're all about it. Let's talk about some shit right now. I know, Scott, you got events up the wazoo. You're like a human calculator. I'm your booking agent for the most part. I help you out, and you remember more than I do. I should have this shit down locked, but you just
right.
I can't keep up with you. I share your stuff, and the next day it's a new event. I go, oh my god! I think it's favorites. I share your shit 90 times.
A lot of stuff not been announced yet, but it's been great. It's been great.
Well, let's talk about where we both get to go and talk and all that stuff. The Connecticut Con, right in July, right, Tom? You're putting that on with our homie Charles. We'll be at Salem Con, of course, but for now, Connecticut, right?
Yeah, it's the Paracon. Since it's Connecticut, it's Para, CONN. You could go on the website and see all the great guests coming, like yourself, Adam, like Scott. I know Danny's in the talk there right now. He's going to be there
Rex,
with
Kenneth
Warren.
Drake.
Oh, yeah, there's tons of people. So if you want to see the website and you want to get tickets, go on Paracon, remember, CONN.org. And you could click on tickets there. So there's some still available. There's a lot of cool things going on. Some people that have never done Paracons. We like to try and keep different people coming. We have our usual people that we love. But we
me and Scott love virgin meat, just like a vampire, right, Scott? Yes, fresh pickings.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned earlier.
Cool. Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Yeah, like early on, you mentioned like Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
And the original Ghost Hunters, the first couple seasons, and then Ghost Hunters International. There was an investigator on Andy Andrews, and he was on the show for a little while and left. And he hasn't done anything since. Nobody knows kind of where he's been. And Charles happened to meet him and talk him into coming and talk about, when he investigated and all that. So that's going to be very interesting to know the beginnings of all that. But we have quite a few people coming, and just look at that paracon.org. It'll blow your mind. So there's a lot of different people, a lot of
people getting added all the time, and it's a mixed bag. You got psychic mediums, you got
there's mediums, demonologists,
and Vodcast host, whatever. You got mixed bag, man. Witches, warlocks, gypsies.
Yep. Oh yeah, got everything you could think of. So there's going to be a lot of vendors there. So a lot of cool stuff, metaphysical stuff.
So you see, like Scott said, he's kind of out of it. He's in the but it's almost an umbrella: paranormal, metaphysical, otherworldly, aliens. Scott, I can ask you, brother, where do you stand on aliens and shit like that? UFOs? You believe in that stuff?
I've seen one. I'm an experiencer. Yeah.
Yes, I love hitting that topic.
Yeah. Go. Long before. It's funny because when I was talking with them over at the Warren Legacy Foundation, that was one of the things they asked you. Have you ever seen I had an experience or whatever you want to call it? And I said yes, and they said you're like the only person that ever put yes. But it's funny, I didn't talk about it for years and years. This was 1995, right before Mother's Day, and I was on this lonely road in central Massachusetts, and there was only one other car in front of me, and it was daytime. It was like 2-3 in the afternoon, and this thing just kind of like sailed across the highway just like that. Quiet, right above the tree line.
Closer.
What's that?
I want to bring that. Go ahead, keep talking. I just want to bring.
Oh, the mug. Yeah. It was cool, but I didn't tell anybody for a long time until somebody told me they had an experience, and then I felt it was okay to share it. But that was before this community was really much of anything. Nobody really talked about that kind of stuff.
It didn't really hit till the 2000s. Honestly, you were kind of considered a wacko. Honestly, right?
Right. Yeah. It took me a while. Even when it was, I was kind of, this is thing with like mediumship, we call it coming out of the spiritual closet, because people think you're nuts, and you have to convince yourself you're not nuts first. Yes. You know what I mean? So if you have any doubts about that, you're not going to want to go and share it with anybody else. And that's the truth, because the stuff that happens isn't normal. I mean, it's not like the rest of the world is sitting here hearing their voice out of nowhere and people talking to them through the radio and crazy stuff. I mean, it's just cool.
When you really think about it, sitting in a room with dowsing rods or a spirit board or just talking, it's like, if you really think about that, you're like, this guy's a fucking nut. But it's a science, right? Do you use spirit rods, dowsing rods? Use that stuff, Scott? Protection.
So this is really funny. I have them. I've got all the toys, but I'm still kind of skeptical. I know that's kind of crazy. I do this and I'm still skeptical. Like if I see someone standing there with rods, I'm like, all right, how do we know you're not just leaning in a little bit? You just breathe slightly. And
I like that. I like that.
You know what I mean? I'm skeptical like that. But that's how I was when I was opening up. I'm like, well, what if I'm making this stuff up? What if it's not real? What if, and so I remember I worked with a medium who was trying to convince me that this is in fact what was going on. And she said, just sit with people and just go with your first gut. Like, what's happening? And people would sit there and say, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. I totally get that. I was getting names and how it's got to be a coincidence. And I convinced myself it's got to be a coincidence. I just must be luck, but it can't be after years and years.
Box saying David's back, dude. You couldn't write that in a fucking movie. That's
no. And crazy. I'll tell you something funny. I had been to. You've heard of the S.K. Pierce haunted Victoria?
Yes. I'm friends with the girl that runs it, Marion.
Marion is wonderful. I love Marion. I was there one night. Actually, it wasn't an investigation. She was there. It was. Do you know Mimi Watkins and her husband?
Yeah, I've heard. Yes, I think I'm friends with her. Maybe.
Okay, so they had a class on pendulum dowsing, right? And I still was figuring stuff out at the time. I went to it just for kicks, but I wanted to see the house. That was the real reason. And they went into the other room for lunch, and a friend of mine was with me, and we saw this black thing come across the ceiling, like this misty, three-dimensional black thing went across the ceiling and disappeared between the chandelier and the ceiling. And I'm like, no one would ever believe it. I'm glad she was there because we just looked at each other and said, are you freaking kidding me? Did that just happen? I pulled out my recorder and said, did we see you? And it said, yes. I'm like, this is nuts.
That timing is too perfect. I mean, it's just, how can you not, right?
Did we see you? Yeah. Did we see you? And so, here it is right here. This is it.
This guy's got this stuff ready to go.
I got it.
He must be a podcast host or something.
Hold on.
Did we see you?
Did you catch
hear that? I heard it.
Did we see you?
Yes.
That was at the SK Pierce. I'm like, wow, that's cool. That night I went home and friends of mine were doing it. Sylvester. We were doing it, and I had picked up this. This was weird too. We were sitting there, and there was like 12 of us in the room. So if you've been there, it's that front parlor on the left-hand side, the woman's parlor. It's all pink, right? I'm sitting there, and there's a bunch of people around, and some woman decided she was going to like refresh her perfume in the small room with like 12 to 15 people, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I don't mind a nice scent, but like this was too small, and I was getting a headache. And I looked at a friend of mine and I said, I'm leaving for a few minutes. I need to go outside and get some fresh air. She says, you okay? I said, well, I am. I said, but that smell it's giving me a headache. She says, what smell? I said, what do you mean, what smell? And so Ken, who, God rest his soul, was running the thing, looked at me and says, do you smell something? I said, yeah, I thought somebody just sprayed perfume in here. And I said, anybody else? Nobody else smelled it. And they said, Ellen Pierce, who lived in the house, Sylvester's wife, is known to give off that scent to some people who can recognize her. I'm like, this is crazy.
You picked up the scent, and just like we did the footsteps. No one heard the footsteps above.
No one heard the footsteps. No one got the scent. That night I went home.
Gift.
And I went home and I was watching Facebook. Somebody was on Facebook Live, people I know in Rhode Island doing an investigation in the woods somewhere. And they had their new portal, and the portal says, voice comes out of the portal, where's Scott? And they said, he's not here tonight. Who's this? This is David.
Oh God, get out of here.
Honest
Someone
to God.
signed the movie rights to this. Fuck Annabelle.
Honestly. And I said, that's it. I'm done. That was the breaking point for me. I really thought I had completely lost my mind. And that's when I called. I had met this woman who's a medium. I didn't know who to call. Like, who the hell do you call? You know, you don't call a therapist. You don't call. I don't know.
They'll
who
put you in a
call.
straitjacket.
Yeah.
Down the
So
rabbit
I
hole
called
again.
her.
You call Ghostbusters. That's what you call it.
Yeah, well, I didn't even want to tell them that because they think you're crazy.
Right.
And I was on a team where they did not place any value on mediums whatsoever. None. They made fun of mediums, and I thought, man, I don't even want to let them know. So
That's the
I
backbone
called
of the paranormal, man.
not
Yeah,
not with this group, not with this group. So this woman, she helped me out, and it took me like 2.5 years to like believe her, really, and really accept it. That when I sit with someone, I was getting messages, and you know, I mean, the other night I'm in Ohio. I'm like, Jesus. I said, I got a horse here. There's a freaking horse in here right now, dead horse running through the. And I said, who lost a horse? And this woman raised her hand. She says, my dad used to have 4 racehorses. I said, she had 4 racehorses. I said, they're all passed. He said, they're all won. So in my head, I'm like talking. It's like I feel like I'm Wilbur talking to Mr. Ed. I said, hey, who's the which one are you? Right? Which horse are you? Which horse are you? I said to her, oh, it's the one that had the accident. And she went, oh. Evidently, they injected the horse with something to make it run faster, and it killed it, and it went ass over teeth.
Oh, like a steroid or something, but
Like a steroid or something like that. Gave it a heart attack.
Damn.
It went ass. Yeah. So that was the horse. So evidently, I can talk to horses.
Which, I mean, they have souls, right? These things move around. They have souls. I would. The horse whisperer.
We don't speak English. We don't speak horse. We don't speak anything else. It's just like.
Here's a question to everybody and anybody. If you guys, fucking Scott, has anyone ever investigated Bridgeport, Connecticut? They have an old asylum. Fairfield Hills is where the Warren Con was supposed to be. I know it's an abandoned thing.
Okay.
I've never heard of the Lady of the Eastern or the Twisted Vine in Derby. Dudleytown's home to the Melonheads, the bulbous head alien kids, I guess. But
all right,
I think should I chime in on that one?
Yeah, if you're Connecticut, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So just so you guys know, this Friday, airing on Paraflix, will be a Dark Echoes episode at the Twisted Vine.
That's
so
right.
You'll be able to see and find out for yourself as you watch it. You, as the viewer, will get to decide if it's haunted or not. So,
and that is not Tom, and that's not me. That is
Shannon.
Velma von Dinkenstein or whatever her name is.
I heard the
Shannon Collins.
Yeah.
I got a chart up here, Sandy. Yes.
Yeah. Shannon Collins and
Shannon.
And there was another girl that was the guest investigator. I can't remember her name.
Bianca?
She's no. Bianca and her did a different episode later on. They did an episode before we did Bath, but
you got a lot of good people in your crew over there.
Yeah, Scott's done many episodes. I've done 3. Scott's done 5.
How do you deal with other psychics, Scott? Like you went. Sorry to cut you off, Thomas, but like, is this too much for you, or do you gel with these?
You're talking about the spirits?
Well, no. The the spirit, like the talkers. You're the psychics. You're the mediums. Do you guys butt heads over things?
We're not there. Well, first of all, no. And actually, season 2 will start filming in January, I think, of next year.
Oh, right on.
And
so it's all a family.
So what they did differently for season 2 is that there's a core group now. There's no guest anybody anymore. So Tom's a regular on season 2. I am one of the 4 permanent mediums. So there's myself, Stephen Masick, who's from the Cape, Greg Nicholas from Ohio, and Stacia Wills also from Ohio. And so the 4
knowledge between all of you.
We're all different. Stacia and I just filmed together. We filmed the season finales out that way, and it was great. I mean, she and I just get along. I mean, Tom will tell you, she's just a bundle of good energy. It was great. And Greg is also fantastic. You've met Greg because you filmed with him at Fainting Goat, and that's actually for season 2. But he's a good guy. He's really good. And the 3 of us were together in Hillview. The only one that's really not into the paranormal at all is Steven. He kind of does his own thing. He doesn't really travel outside of his area, but he's a fantastic medium. The guy is incredible. Yeah, really, really good medium. But there's no animosity, and this is what I love about this group. I can't say anything. Hey, Lauren. I can't say anything about any of the other mediums because I don't know them. I really don't. There's another one.
Did you mean Irene?
Maine or something? What's that?
Irene Arculus, right?
Arkeloise.
Arkeloise. Did you? Yes, I can't never say that name right.
I had dinner with her.
I fucked it up 3 times.
I did. I had dinner with her on, I guess it was Saturday night. She is. We went to a winery out there. She was at the Hillview too. Yeah, she's good people. I like.
You know what's awesome? I went to real quick. I went to Pennsylvania to go to the filming sites of the Coming to Get You, Barbara, Night of the Living Dead, Evans City Cemetery. So I shot the movie. There's one there. And we stopped at Hillview. Susan Veck reached out, said, "You want a private tour?" We went up. We went to the window where the guy jumped out of. We went to the suicide bathtub. She gave us the whole fucking tour. We went out back where the graveyard is by the golf course. Where the dude, oh my God, we got a whole tour. So when you guys went, man, Hillview's the real deal. Do you get overwhelmed by that shit, Thomas?
That's where they jumped out the window or something, right?
Yeah, yes, the window committed suicide in the front of the fucking thing.
Right in front of the front stoop almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thomas, you like that shit. I'm not saying Scott don't. I mean, Tom, you like serial killer. I mean, that shit intrigues you guys, right? Or no?
Yeah. I'm a big true crime guy. You know that. And you know, it's the serial killer stuff. Yeah, because that's my background. That's what That's what I did most of my life. Yeah,
it's for you.
That's what I did. Yeah. That's what I did.
He's already analyzing you, Adam. He's already profiling you right now.
Oh, I already got him figured out.
Well, the thing is, Thomas Pedrick, like you kind of do that for a living, but at the same time, dude, you're on TikTok every Tuesday morning serial. There's something new to learn about Ted Bundy's fucking mother or whatever. I learned something new about the fucking highway killer or Boston Strangler, whose grave I've been to in Peabody, Massachusetts. I went to Salvo. So there's a lot of crazy people out there, and I think the people in
That's funny that you say. That's funny that you say DeSalvo. You say DeSalvo, the Boston Strangler. I don't think he was.
You don't?
Some people say that.
I think he just said it. I think there was another person. Supposedly he was in prison with this other guy, and the other guy and him, and they knew all the same stuff. And this guy fed him information to make him look like. I think the other guy was the Boston Strangler, and DeSalvo wasn't. So there's a lot of like hearsay and all that, but I don't think DeSalvo really was the Hillside Strangler. I still think that's open.
No kidding. I've heard of
that was solved. Yeah, I really don't. Scott, you get feelings and all that. And, Scott's a great psychic medium. And I've told you before, I'm an empath. And I just feel things here and there. And sometimes I pick up on stuff. I don't know why the hell I'm picking up on it. I haven't grasped it like, these guys have over these few years. But I do use equipment to verify how I'm feeling. That's how I investigate. And I think that's the difference because we're on the Dark Echoes. And I think that's why they wanted me to be on the show, because I investigate different than everybody else. I don't do it the same. I actually, the type of guy that if I get in contact with a spirit, I'm going to find out why they're there. Do they want to still be there? And maybe give them the words if they want to move on. And who knows? You might see that in an episode.
Dude, you guys are like peanut butter and fucking jelly. You're different, but you're great together. I love it. You guys are really...
We are all different. Well, yes. Every one of us on this show is different,
Yeah.
But it just blends. We have such a good group, honestly. I think I'm so glad, to be honest with you, and not just because I got picked up for season 2, but I'm glad that they kind of locked it in because no offense to anybody else, I just know this group and it just fits. It just fits really well.
It is a tight group. It is a tight group, and I want to let you know. With Stacia and all that, with Greg, with Scott and all that, we've all talked and just how we approach things, the helping people heal, the psychological side of it. Stacia had actually reached out to me and we started this group. It's called Born Out of Darkness.
Right.
And all that. And how we were all born out of darkness. And actually, it's funny that I got that term. I don't know if Samea's still on, but she had told me about that, being born out of darkness. We're born out of our mom's womb, from darkness into light.
In the belly, it's dark in there.
Yeah, well, any trauma you have is darkness. And when you embrace that trauma, put a name to it, and take control of it, you're into the light again. Hi, Samea. So anything, even with alcoholics, they always put a name to it. It says, I'm an alcoholic, to get control over it. Same thing in the paranormal, demonologists, exorcists. They want to know what the supposed demon name is. And the demon could be some kind of trauma, your alcoholism.
Right. It doesn't mean demon like the devil. No.
No. It's your own inner demon that you manifest. So a lot of people look at it like, oh, it's a demon. You know, those hard things that they make movies about, that's a 0.00001. We usually create everything on our own. So, and you know, Samaya is the one that gave me that idea. And I want to thank her for that, because now we're starting a group off that idea. And a lot of things I learned from Samaya, the stuff I learned from Scott, from Stacia. That's the thing about what we do, whether it be metaphysical, the direction Scott going, whether we're doing paranormal, we have to learn from each other. And the most important thing is put your ego aside, because if you have a big ego, you will not get in touch with spirit. I guarantee it, and I've seen it. And that's why
I know.
Yeah. You won't be in touch with it. It'll push you away, and that's when the darkness will start for you in this business. Stay away from it.
Let me say something on that too, because I really think this was something I was going to say earlier, and I think we got sidetracked a little bit. Talking about other mediums and getting along, and I do get along with everybody. There really is no kind of I don't know. For me, there's no animosity with anyone. You know, we all do what we do and we get what we get. But I do think that you can always humility. That's the piece of the puzzle, right? When I was at Hillview, I was focused on setting up. I was focused on doing my readings, and I had a gallery. And people said to me, "Oh, this place is really haunted. What are you picking up here?" And I said, "Nothing." Like, I'm not in that zone. I'm really not. I do not walk around open all day long, like picking up people in the grocery store, or, you know, and it's not like that for me. And you can usually tell someone who wants to be more than they are, because they are, quote unquote, open all the time. They're feeling stuff at the grocery store, the body shop. I'm not sure how much of it is real. Again, I'm a skeptic at the beginning of this. Not to say that they don't have any abilities, they're empathic or whatever. But I'm very leery of people who, quote unquote, can read anybody. I can't read everybody. Some people are blocked. It's just one of those things. I did not walk around. And you know, look, I was with Greg when he was doing his gallery at the Hillview. And I was in the audience. He says, "Let me know if you pick up anything." Well, you can't get a word in edgewise with Greg, because it's like he comes out of the door like a horse charging up.
He's like,
yeah. Ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, I got nothing. I've got nothing.
I get nothing.
But it's not for me to get. It's not my message. You know, I'll stand out there, and I walked into my room where I did my gallery, and I said to myself, I got nobody. Guys don't like. Just please, this is not the time to go for coffee. You need to show up here. I need somebody to come through for the people that are sitting here. As soon as I open my mouth, there they are. But it's like, when I'm supposed to work, that's when they show up. It's not when it's not like a magic deck. You know, you just can't pull a rabbit out of a hat and say, "Here's the rabbit." You know, he was doing his work. It was his messages to give. Yeah. They weren't coming to me. They weren't. Yeah. And I'll do shows with other mediums tomorrow night with Karen a lot. Sometimes she's getting stuff and I've got nothing, or I'm getting it and she's not picking up on it at all. Once in a while, though, they'll attach to both of us, and we're both getting messages from the same spirit. But it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes they pick who they want to talk to, who they want to communicate with.
Real quick, I like that you don't admit that every time people go out there and go, "I feel it all the time." Because I mean, some people BS it and gives it a bad name for people like you. So I like that you're, you know what I'm saying, Tom?
Keep it humble.
You're a real fucking cat.
It's with everybody. It's with everybody. I've known Scott for a little while now, and when he needs to go to work, they come to him. And I tell you, just with all the mediums, especially on the show that we're doing and all that, you know, you have to be able to. You turn it on when it needs to go on. It's like you're going to work, you know, the phone rings and you pick it up. You decide to pick it up. And he's talking about the messages are for you. You can walk into a bar and somebody comes up and talks to you, and then some other people don't. You know, it all depends
on who
how it is attracted to your energy and what energy you're putting out and what message you're open to receive. But I'm the same way. You know, I work in the sales industry. If I was on all the time, I'd be dead tired all the time. I'd be sucking the energy right? Draining. You can't be on all the time. But just like Scott, I would think when we do our work, when we do these shows, like if I'm giving a talk, or if I'm at a Paracon to meet people and help them. You know, it's the same thing. Yeah, even Lauren, it comes and goes. It's there when it's needed. And Scott has been doing this heck of a lot longer than I have, that side of it. I'm getting more in touch now because I've had things happen that, you know, lately I don't know if I told Scott about the trolley museum, and we had 2 days at the trolley museum for an event with the shaman and the shaman. And the first night we were at one of the trolleys that was supposedly a trolley from New Orleans. And I had the instrumentation going and all that. And I picked up on a name, Billy, coming through. And all of a sudden I could picture him in my mind that he wanted to go to college and he didn't get the chance. So I was like, that's strange. So the second night, Billy reached out even more. So he felt, I guess, more comfortable with my energy. So we had the instrumentation, the people that are there, we let them hold on to the instruments and learn how to use equipment. We teach them, and hopefully they have an experience. But they had an experience that night I don't think they're ever going to forget. For me, really? I probably will never forget. So I'm picking up on the energy, and everybody's like kind of, you know, getting, oh, something's going on and all that. So we had the EMF meter was just shooting off. The guy that was giving the tour felt energy like he was about to fall over, and you could see him grabbing on so he doesn't fall over. And I felt the energy. I told everybody, quiet down. I says, I'm going to have a conversation. I think this is Billy. So we had the instrumentation going, the SB7 spirit box coming through. It's Billy. And I picked up all of a sudden just the hole in my mind. I could see him in the military. These little pictures are coming to me. He was in the military and he died. And he never got to go to college. So I said, Billy, you died for our country. That is the same thing as earning your degree. And as soon as I said that, all the instrumentation went to freaking zero. Everything stopped and everybody's mouth was dropped open. And one of my friends, Rosalie, I don't know if you know Rosalie and all that. She's old. She's been doing this for a long time. She says out of all the years she's been doing this, she's never seen somebody be able to do that for spirit. And I couldn't wrap my mind around it. I still didn't feel good about it. So I called my friend Blaine Rowan. I don't know if you guys know Blaine, but Blaine is a shaman too, and he is very good at picking up last names. So I asked him, I said, what do you think the last name is? In less than a second, he told me the last name. I looked it up, and there was a gentleman with the last name that went off to World War II from New Orleans around the same time I was picking up. Exact same name.
Wow.
But it said he didn't die. He lived to be like 80 out in California. But you guys have to remember there's different types of death, especially for military people. When you go off to war, especially World War II, and you see your brothers torn apart, die in front of you and all that, it kills that part of you. You get that PTSD. And you come home and every goal you had just goes away because your whole life changes. So I think he never got the chance to go to college because he had so much PTSD and depression about what he did and went through life. And just knowing that his service, you know, potentially was his college and that potentially could have helped him and helped him pass along is just, it's mind blowing. And, you know, when we do these events, you never know what's going to happen. There could be nothing or there could be something, you know, very profound like that. That's why Charles and I like doing the events.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't want to know what color your shirt is. We want to know the history. We want to know who we're talking to. And we had a name, an actual name of a person that was proven. And what the people got to experience, you know, that's worth every penny that you spend to have that experience. You know, that's what people want when they get into this. And it was mind-blowing.
Not to beat the dead horse or whatever, not to bring up horses again. I want Scott to get all antsy. We're going to get going soon. We're going to end it here in a minute. But I got to say, dude, this David story, like the proof you got, Boston Medium, Scott Allan, check him out because this whole David's back, that's going to fucking haunt me for a while. So appreciate the nightmares ahead of time for that one. Fuck it. That's a good story. That really, I think, sets the bar. You guys both have great stories. We're going to have to do this again in the future. You guys going to come back on sometime?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like maybe right after Connecticut Fest.
Bring me back on and I'll tell you who David is because we now know who David is.
Yeah.
It's not your son, is it? You didn't name your kid David.
No. But
Scott,
I will tell you who David is.
Scott, I think he should have us back on, and we should have the dad joke challenge. So,
definitely can do that.
Yeah, we're gonna do the dad joke.
What
challenge.
dad joke challenge? So as we end the show, I usually do this for my guests. I want you guys to ask me a question before we head out. You guys got a question for me? Play host. David. There's Irene. What's up,
there's
girl?
Irene. How are you,
Irene?
Good
What's
people.
Up? Yes.
Scott, you got a question for me? You're a host anyway, so it's probably easy for you. But you got one for me?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't prepared. Usually I prepare for my guests. Let me see.
Put him on the spot. Yeah.
I know. Well, you go first, Tom. I don't know.
I don't think it's more of a question, and I'm going to talk about this with you, Adam, a little later, but I just want to throw it out there on the air. Adam is such a great historian and all that, and with the Paracon, Charles and I were talking, and I want to throw it out there to give you something to think about, and we'll talk about it later. At the Paracon, there's a particular cemetery attached to where the building is, and there's a famous witch from Connecticut that's buried in that cemetery.
Hannah Karenina?
No, not Hannah Karenina. She's on the other side. I can't tell you who it is yet, so we're still trying to get permission to be able to go into the cemetery. But we need somebody, maybe 2 or 3 times on each day, to give a historic tour of it, ghost hunt, and tell them all about the history. And both of Charles and I thought Adam would be the perfect one to do it because he's so energetic, and I think people would love it. And and of course,
everybody.
Oh yeah, but of course, Adam, I would never let. I know you're going to be traveling all the way down and go all that, but hopefully, we're able to cover a few things for you if you're able to do this for us.
Well, we'll
talk later about. Yeah, we'll talk about who it actually is. I don't want to give it away on air. I want it still to be a surprise, so people will buy that extra ticket to go on.
I'm not trying to brag, but Salem was my first speaking event, and they told me literally I was the only one that got a standing ovation when I got done speaking. So you fucking tell me. Suck it sideways. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll toot my own horn. I'm not getting a big head. But you guys give me the floor and dude, I love that.
You're just getting a big melon head. That's what you're getting.
You're giving me a chance. He sponsored the show. He let me be a speaker. Now he wants me to be a tour guide for him.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. And like I said, I was part of the Warren Legacy as well by Chris McKenna. To get record, I went to the Warren Con as Tony Sparrow's guest at no charge. I get to deal with Scott Allan. I get to deal with Thomas Patrick. I get to deal with Day Elwell and Danny Perez. Such big names in this field, going places. Yeah. I am blessed to even know you cats. So,
well, I got to deal with Scott Allan too. So
you don't have to. You could just
I know.
There's a little button on Facebook that says block.
Block.
Look at him coming out. Appreciate you.
Yep.
So, I'm gonna do that. You fucking know it.
Yep.
All right. So let me ask you, Adam. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to I'm going to Connecticut Paracon.
Yep.
And I have an hour to talk. Should I talk? And I have a talk that I'm doing in Wethersfield, Connecticut. Called that's in October. Or I don't know if it's September, October. But it's called from Grieving Hearts.
Who did you talk to? Did you?
It's the Web Deans.
Miranda.
Yeah, Miranda. Yeah,
Miranda and Renee. Yeah. Charles and I talked to them earlier. There's a potential that there might be an event there. I can't talk about yet. They're still trying to see if we're going to do it. And they actually mentioned you, Scott. And I said, I know. Scott
because
very
my cousin is involved there.
Yeah.
And so she set that up. Yeah. So I'm doing a gallery there. No, I'm not doing a gallery. I take that back. I'm giving the talk, and the talk is called From Grieving Hearts to Guiding Spirits.
Yeah.
And it's the story from my childhood with my somewhat psychic grandmother, potentially into the funeral business and out into the opening up through the whole David story. So there's that, and that's an hour. So I can do that, or I can do a gallery. What do you think people would be more interested in?
Oh, you got to bring up David. The gallery is good though too, because you got so much to boast about. Shit, that's a tough one. That's like saying what's your favorite kid. Oh boy.
Well, that one's easy. I only got one, so.
Well, I guess that's it. Yeah, that's easy.
I can't do it. I got too many.
David Jr., right? No, just kidding. I'd say speak, Scott. You're great at speaking. I love listening to you talk. Very soothing, honest voice, and I feel like people dig you. And I think you have a lot to offer. And that David story blows me right away, dude. I literally want to steal that and make a movie with one of my directors.
Well, I have to. I'm going to say this to Tom because if I do it, I need to have a projector and I need to have a sound system so you can hear it.
Okay.
Because without the audio and without the video, it's really kind of just me telling a story. You know what I mean? But when you back it up with the because I've got the whole PowerPoint put together. When you back it up with the audio and the visuals and that kind of stuff.
Well, Scott, you got to let me know what you need, and then I'll make sure it happens. So
well,
you know me.
Me too. Me too.
I need a projector, or if we're going to project it on a screen or a wall or whatever, I need a projector.
You just got to let me know. What kind of projector that's going to work with your laptop. So,
well, I have
paranormal.
I have USB. Is it USB-C or 3 or whatever it is? It's the newer one. The smaller.
Yeah, probably the USB-C.
Yeah. So as long as it's and I also have converters and stuff like that. So I used it with my laptop connected it to a TV in Naples when I did the talk there.
Yeah.
So
we could talk about more about that later.
I love that you can. I love that you can.
We're on your show throwing ideas around for the. Yeah, let's.
I love it.
We're gonna ask Scott. What's the question?
We gotta get more. We gotta get you. We gotta get you guys back on. We could talk. Yeah. So as we end it, Scott. Well, Thomas first, and Scott. Plug yourself. Where can people find your shit? What YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Plug.
Well, me. I don't want to be found. Don't find me. I want to hide. Leave me alone. No, Thomas Patrick Gormley on Facebook. I'm also the Archangel of the Paranormal on TikTok, Instagram, Threads. You could catch us pretty soon in post-production. There you go. That's
I got a whole wall of my
right there. That's Archie the Archangel. So, and we'll be on Paraflix, Amazon Prime, and season 2 might be on another famous carrier, but we haven't saying anything yet. So it keeps getting better and better. And Matt's going to be in New York at a film festival coming up too. I wanted to go with him, but unfortunately, I got a gig that night in New Haven. I do too. Yeah, so I feel so bad. I wanted to go so bad, but
I did too. But I've got a gig that night too, so I can't.
That would have been so fun. But we're all rooting for Matt. Matt's doing a great job with the show. Of course, the Shaman and the Showman LLC. We got the Paracon. We got the Connecticut Witch Trials Festival. They were exonerated last year. Too. We're celebrating. We have the Dudleytown Brewery, which is the weekend after the Paracon. There'll be a psychic fair. And then, of course, the Salem Paranormal Horror Convention, which we're going to have in October this year during the crazy time. But I just want to let anybody know out there that usually come to that if they're worried. Do an Airbnb. Go like 45 minutes, an hour out. It's not that bad. Just so you know, I did book the Salem 7 or maybe 8 this year. We booked our Airbnb.
Absinthe, man, lit on fire, had sugar cubes, all fucking night.
Yeah.
Pretty wild night.
So what is the date of that? What is the date of that? Do you know?
19th, the 19th and 20th for Salem.
Diego, thanks for stepping in, brother.
Yes, Raph.
Yes, October. Is it Salem State University again?
Yeah, it's the same place. The college, huge parking. It's great. Hopefully this year.
Free parking.
Well, hopefully this year they'll clean up the smelly bathroom. And
Lauren will be there again.
Yes,
I'll get to fucking meet Scott Hooker by crook, at least by Connecticut, so that's good.
Well, we'll see you in Connecticut for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Scott, what about you? What do you got lined up? Obviously, you got my capital, Augusta, Maine.
I got a ton of stuff. So now, all my events.
4 tickets. My home state.
Four tickets left for tomorrow night.
I should be there as a fucking agent. I should be getting a ticket.
There you go. Four tickets left for tomorrow night at Merkaba Soul in Augusta, Maine, and all tickets for all my events are available on my website, which is mediumscottallan.com. From there, you can get tickets to my events. So we've got that one next week. We're in Westport, Mass. at Whites of Westport. The following week, we're at the Bull Run in Shirley. The next week, we're at the Clifton Theater. And then we're at the American Legion in Hanson in July. And we're in Gallery 53 in Connecticut, thanks to Tom.
Yeah.
That's also in July.
I'll be there too with
Connecticut.
you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm glad. Connecticut Paracon, we're going to be there in July. August, we're the Psychic Trifecta at the Oliver House and the Enfield Demon House, and that is the 23rd.
I'll be there too at the Enfield Demon House with
I
you.
feel like I'm missing some things. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing a bunch of stuff. We've got stuff in September. We're at the 228 in Sterling, Massachusetts. That's September 11th.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there you go. Go hit the top. It says events and classes.
I tell you, Scott, you're at more stuff. You're longer. Your list of stuff you're doing is longer than a CVS receipt.
Yeah, it's getting that way. And there's stuff that we haven't put on there yet.
I got to do my dad joke. You know, I got to get a dad joke in on.
Yeah.
There,
So there. Oh yeah. There's the bull run in Shirley.
Yep.
What's after that? Scroll down.
Back to back. Augusta, Maine with Chris Brown, who I know personally. I've talked to Karen through Facebook. She's interested in signing.
Yeah.
She's on the fence.
Okay, there it is.
Agree.
Agree. Then we're at for the Fisher House, Meriden, Connecticut, at the Gallery 53. That's in July.
Huntington, Pennsylvania, dude.
Huntington, Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's to save. That's at the Haunted Clifton Theater.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Make sure you guys go out to that.
Oh. We're also going to be in
great.
Wyndham, New Hampshire. That's on August 13th. Wyndham, New Hampshire at the Wyndham Restaurant. That's also haunted. Oh, and we have the Full Moon Mediumship Cruise on Lake Winnipesaukee. We're doing that in August as well. So Karen and I are on the boat.
Yeah.
Yep. And then that one.
There's been a lot of UFO sightings off Winnipesaukee too. Yeah,
Really?
There's even a monster. There's a Winnipesaukee sea monster. They say it's like Nessie or whatever the fuck there.
Yeah. A lot of.
Hey, that's right. Alexa lives in not Derry, Maine, where Pennywise is from, but Derry.
Alexis, come see us.
Yeah, Alexis is awesome.
She's also part of the crew. So.
Yep, Alexis is awesome. She's got a lot of cool stuff.
I just said, Alexis, come see us, and my Alexa went off. I don't know what it's doing. It's going to stop playing music or something in a minute.
You beautiful psychic bastard. I love it. So, man, I don't want to rob all your time. I mean, I know it's getting late. I told you an hour. We usually go a little bit over. It's been a blast, man. Is there anything you want to talk about before we go? Or?
Check out my candles too, and you can get it from my website, from the main site at the top. It'll say candles, or you can go to senseoffear.com, and so there's that. Sign up, get my free ebook. If you go onto my website, it'll ask you to sign up for the newsletter. You get my free ebook on how to prepare for a psychic reading, and you can sign up for my blog, which is twice a month. You get some tips, thoughts, ideas, and that gets automatically sent to you. So there's a lot going on. I love this. Anybody wants to be on a podcast, I love to do this kind of stuff. I can sit here and talk to people all night.
Would you be a co-host one time too if I had someone on, another psychic? Could do like a psychic threesome? That sounds weird, but you know what I mean.
Screw them.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
Because it's great talking to you.
Menage a vodcast. Menage a vodcast.
Menage a podcast.
Real quick though, Scott, you also have your old shows on your YouTube channel. Which I
do. So Spirit Talk Live. And I was the host of the Paranormal Project. All of those are archived there as well. But right now,
back in the day,
back in the day,
I was the last guest before he changed over.
That's true.
That's right. You kind of went solo. No hard feelings. You just went in your own thing, which I think is fine.
You know what?
You're not solo. You're not solo anymore, from what we're hearing.
No, Stacia Wills is going to be with me. She's my regular guest, and I think she'll be with me every week.
Great show last night. Interesting.
You know what it is? I really set that up because I wanted to do some online readings. I wanted to be able to connect with spirit but I also want to have guests in that we can talk to. So I can bring somebody on like Matt or like you. We could talk about dark echoes or whatever. And then, that's 15, 20 minutes. We do readings for the rest of the night. But some of the guests that I bring on are not at that point in their unfoldment yet. Like, I still want to hear about them. I want to know what they're going through and how they unfolded, but they're not always comfortable doing readings. And for me, it is, even though I do this, it's tough being here. I've got the phone line over here. I've got the chat over here. I've got StreamYard. I've got the Roadcaster, and I'm always like switching. It's hard to go from here, connect to spirit, get a message, come back, check the phone line.
You wear
check-
too many
you know what I mean?
hats. Too many hats at once.
I can't do it. So I need someone else in the room with me, basically. That
Don't make
doesn't have
Thomas
deal with that
move to
kind of stuff.
Boston.
Well, yeah, Scott is just not a drummer, so can't do.
He's
that.
just
Not
what?
a drummer.
Oh, a drummer. I get it. You
Oh.
wear a lot of hats. Plus, you're obviously
Yeah.
you're a father and all this other stuff. So I mean, that was Thomas too. Congratulations on your birthday of your daughter. I think last week or whatever too, Thomas.
Yeah, my youngest is now 23.
Is that the one I met, or is that a different one?
No, the one you met, because when we were in Bath, my oldest daughter lives right near there, and she came to hang out with us. And
What
we
a
had
small
lunch
world.
before Yeah, it was so good because I always find it great for Scott to be able to meet somebody in my family. I hold that very dear. I don't let a lot of people into my circle, and you know that, Adam. I have a very tight circle.
You're cool with people, but you let people in. Hey Scott, you want to go 10 more minutes? Do you gotta go? Can we do an hour and a half?
Good. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead,
No,
Thomas.
absolutely.
I'm very private in my life and all that. I'm very helpful to people, but I get yelled at a lot for keeping up such a big wall and all that. I'm very protective of my family. I don't let a lot of people in because there is a lot of drama in what we do and all that. But I want to help everybody. I want everybody to go forward in the paranormal, just the right thing, keep the ego out of it and all that. But it's big for me, for Scott to be able to meet my daughter, to meet my wife, and just you guys last year, staying in an Airbnb with you guys. I knew you guys, but not that well, but now we know each other really well. And it's hard for me.
You've been on the phone with one of those members who was suicidal, and you were talking to them out of it for a night.
Yeah,
so you've been
but that's what I do. Yeah, I have a lot of love. I have a lot of love for people, and
life is
that's
precious.
what I do. But I deal with people with trauma a lot. I've been doing it my whole life.
Yeah.
A lot of you guys know I've dealt with it my whole life. It's since I was young. My mother went through it. It's hard for me to say my mother took her own life and all that, and I went through that. And there was times where my mom and I would be up 3 a.m, and her and I talking, and her not wanting to be here anymore and trying to talk her out of it. And it's just her health issues.
That's rough.
Her health issues. She just didn't want to be here anymore. And then she didn't talk to me one day, and I just had a feeling, and then it happened. And it's the worst thing. And I've dedicated my life since then. I've always been involved in the paranormal, but after my mom died, I really dove in. I think it was the sadness that I had, and I didn't want anybody else to go through it. So that's why I help the people I do. And when it happened to me that close, now I'm able to really see it for what it is. And I refuse. If I have the ability in my body, in my spirit to help somebody, that's what I'll do. It doesn't matter. It's not about money. It's not about that. Anybody go to the paranormal, go through trauma. I think paranormal is basically trauma. That's what it is. That's what we manifest. That's why a lot of this stuff happens. The spirits recognize it. They become more active. Those are the types of things that we see. It's hard for me to share that part of my life, but that's what makes me who I am. And that's what makes me want to do for others and not, hopefully I'm trying to bring that wall down. I know we have the mutual friend Stacia there, and we've had some pretty long talks about trauma. And I think that's why what I've been through in my life. And I think that's why I'm able to help people, because you can't tell me anything that I haven't experienced. I think it's near impossible. And I've seen things, working in the prison system and seeing what I saw. I'm very, I'm not trusting. I think it's because I was law enforcement. You don't trust a lot of people. And when I do, I wholeheartedly do. And I go off of feeling and all that, and with that trust. And if you lose my trust, you don't get it back. I don't have a gray area. It's either black or white with me.
Can I read something with you, Tom? Can I read something to you? Because you were talking, and I've been sitting here shuffling these all night. And I don't do a lot of tarot stuff, but sometimes it helps keep my mind kind of focused. And I pulled a card representing your relationship with me, the friendship that we have together.
Yeah.
And I got this. Whoops, where are we? Which is the Page of Pentacles. Page of
Yeah,
It's
Pentacles.
hard. It's the camera's hard. It's
I know.
hard,
It's like,
yeah.
where's the camera?
Yeah.
And this is about you. Sociable and charming, intelligent, educated, good common sense, loyal, honest, and trustworthy.
Mhm.
And you think before you speak. But this is the thing. He looks out for you and your best interests and will have a very positive effect on your life. And that's who I think you are. That's
Yeah.
who I think you are. Not just with me, but in general, with people you like, trust, and surround yourself with.
Well, that's the
And that's
thing. I'm
good.
talking to two of
Like
my
me and
favorite.
play with tarot cards.
I'm talking to two of my. I'm talking with two of my favorite people right now. Scott, Adam. I love you guys. We've been
dude,
through
I
a
love
lot
you.
already. And
Tom, you text me.
Danny
I
was
got my
on,
phone, you
Lauren's
text me my cell
on,
phone.
Samaya.
It's a
There's
nice
a lot of
group.
people that are on right now that are watching us. But I'll tell you
Samaya,
this,
Alexis, Aaron, the Perez's. Absolutely.
I told Scott before, something when I met Scott resonated with me, and the feeling I got is Scott and I have known each other for hundreds to thousands of lifetimes.
It's weird, isn't it? I said the same thing
It
about
is.
Stacia too. I felt the very similar feeling
but
with her.
her too.
Yeah.
And she's talked about that silver thread,
Mhm.
this age that we're coming into, and it's almost like we're all gathering for something momentous that's coming up.
Does
we have work
freak
to
you
do.
guys out? Does anything freak you guys out?
No.
Do you get worried? I mean,
I don't freak out anymore.
you guys seem pretty not fearless, but you seem pretty much.
No.
You're going into haunted mansions and insane asylums and fucking traveling cross country and hitting seeing 15 dead deer like the apocalypse, and you're still driving on.
Yeah.
So like nothing really, I guess. I mean, humanity is scary, I guess, as a whole.
Here's what I think is happening. I think people are finding spirit. They're finding their spirituality. I think the veil is thinning. And we're making, and I don't know if you can. This is something that I've noticed. I don't know
like
if you
end of
noticed it
days
as well.
type shit. Like last 50
What is it?
years in the Bible. Like
No.
last 50 years in the Bible, end of days. No.
No. Not that. But I do feel like I'm in a period right now where people are shifting in my life, and the ones. It's not a positive or negative, right? It's not that they're negative, but if you don't need to cloud yourself up with people who don't enhance your life, because there are some people that will, and you need to have room for them when they come in. And I feel like there's a shift around me. I've let people go, not that I've intentionally, but I've just kind of like pulled back a little bit, because I think that sometimes you need to do that because they don't bring you joy for whatever reason. And that has opened the door for some pretty fantastic people like you, Tom, and Stacia and Adam. And, and I think that is really what it's all about. And I see a shift with people who are focusing on the right things for them, and the right thing for you is not the right thing for me, and but it's what's right for you and what makes your heart sing, what makes your heart happy.
Yeah.
And I believe that. I think it's just making room for the right people, so that we travel down this path with the people we're supposed to travel this path with.
Yeah.
God, I just want to hug you guys. Can we go another 3 hours? Is that cool? Sorry.
Well, you gotta give me a bathroom break, and then I'll come back.
No, seriously, I'm gonna have you guys back on. Thomas, you've been on a couple of times as co-host. You always want to get drunk and shit.
Yeah.
Can we go live from the Paracon? We should go live from the Paracon.
We should. That would be cool.
I'm friends with Travis and Toby. I'm friends with them. I know all the guys in Maine. It's my people. Fuck. You think they'd let me? That'd be fun, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna be in Connecticut together.
We'll do it at the Paracon in Connecticut.
Well, between you and me and Thomas are working about getting some sort of convention in Maine at a Stephen King filming location.
Yeah.
So I only know all of them.
Oh, okay.
And if I can get my people there at a discounted rate, my historically haunted booking people, my friends, my allies, and just have it be all them, I think we'd have enough to fill the stands. I got exotic dancers. I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. I got art fusion.
That's what I do in my part time.
Well, I meant you. You're
exotic
a pole dancer.
Right?
Yeah.
We're also working on
hanging out of his G's.
It better be a sturdy pole. I used to be a medium. Now I'm a large. Extra large.
What if he's a comedian on the weekend? Scott Allan, comedian. Everybody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But we got a big thing we're working on. It's in the works. Scott, myself, Stacia, Greg, a lot of the people from Dark Echoes. It's just like what we're talking about. Getting in touch with spirit, moving the trauma out of it. There's going to be a
healing
whole
the generational trauma.
Exactly. And
Good.
we're going to have
Mental health is a
psychologists
real thing.
involved, medical doctors, everything that you could think of. That's going to help a lot of people. You know, I think that's what we're lacking here in the paranormal. A lot of people get involved in the paranormal, the darkness of it. They already have traumas. And that's why there's so much drama sometimes, because they have trauma and they don't realize it. You know, I've been working. Scott and I have been working with a group. They're very nice people, and I'm not going to name names, but they've been having a lot of issues with other people. And I think when these people came to the house for, I think, the wrong reasons, and they've developed, for me, what I pick up is attachments, and those attachments are creating them to fight back at these people. They're very nice people. They've always reached out to us, and I've been counseling them. And I really love what they do. And, you know, we've been involved with them. And, you know, there's a lot of people involved with them now. A lot of the old timers are really involved with them now, too.
Wow.
And we want people to know that they're in it for the right reasons and all that. And I don't think anybody should attack them. I know there's been some stuff that's been out there, but I think that the people that have been attacking them, I think they need, personally, you know, I don't want to make a big thing out of it, but please look in the mirror. You know, I really think there's spirit attachment to you right now, and you need to address that and overcome that trauma, what you're going through, and stop lashing out, because I think you need to take care of you. And I really worry about them also. And I don't want anything to happen to them, no matter what negative happened on, you know?
Absolutely. And if I can say this too, in that regard, I think that that's part of what I've noticed myself, the shift that I've talked about. This shift is that I can't, as an empath, and I've told you this, Tom, as an empath, there is this need to fix things. You need to put it all into a nice, tidy package. And I've realized that that's really impossible to do.
Yeah, it's the OCD in me.
But I get it, because I live my life that way. You know what I mean? And that's why I've stepped back from people and situations, because I don't have to fix it. I don't have to change them. I don't have to deal with it. I just don't need it in my life, you know. But I know who you're talking about, and I like them. They're good people. And I hope, in a way, that they can take some of that advice themselves too, because let the people with the attachments and all that other angst, just let them stew in their own angst,
exactly.
You know,
you're right. But anybody that's going through something, be aware of it. If you're going to go through it, you need to go through it yourself. I'm not going to help you with it. I'll make you aware of it, and you have to overcome it yourself. When you're on a journey, your journey is of you and who you are and what your traumas are, and you have to name them and come to terms with them and have control over them. If you don't do that, there's going to be a constant negative in your life, and you're always going to feel bad, and you're always going to lash out. And I just think it's sad. We all need to overcome those things, and that's what we're trying to work on. So,
and those are the same people that go to haunted places and try to conjure demons with Ouija boards or eating gummy bears and having little pizza parties, and they make the situation worse and unleash their bullshit. Or
sometimes,
because they're
well, sometimes you need to know. You need to know what you're dealing with. You know, absolutely. I've told you, I've been at this for 40 years. I've seen a lot of stuff, and I've had to go through screw ups and all that and learn from them and come to where I am now. And I think a lot of people that are involved right now aren't at that point yet. And again, I had to learn from it myself, but learning from other people. Be open to other people, even if you don't agree with them, because some of these guys, some of us old timers have been doing this for a while, and some of the young bucks are telling us, oh, yeah, you're just old farts and all the other stuff. We've already gone through what you're trying to go through right now.
Yeah, Tony Spera.
There you go. So, you know, you're already going through the stuff we've already gone through, you know?
Yeah.
But I can't tell somebody, you know, a lot of these people are so closed-minded. But again, you need to come to terms for yourself and what you're doing and why you're doing it. Don't just do it because, you want to put some likes on Facebook or anything like that. You're here to help spirit, but you're here to help yourself too heal. Because a lot of us get involved in this. We all have trauma. We get involved in it. That's what we're drawn to. But the thing is, you know, with spirit, again, if you have an ego, you think you're the best and all that, you're so far away from what we're trying to do, like Scott does, to get in touch with spirit. If Scott had a big ego, I think a lot of his spirit guides would shut him down. Your gifts could be taken away if you're not in it for the right reasons.
You're right.
You know, I every time I go out and do a reading or I do a gallery, I am grateful that they still show up, because without them, I don't have anything. And you have to have that humility. And I still, it still amazes me as much as it amazes other people. I still don't, I can't believe it sometimes. Some of the stuff that comes through, I just can't understand it. So
you guys are so
you just
modest.
have to, no, but I'm being completely honest. You have to keep it real.
No, I know that. Yeah.
Because it's not my gift. You can't study it. You can't study it like you can learn to do a magic trick. It doesn't work that way. You will literally are reliant on them for everything. It's like when you're a baby. If your parents don't feed you, you die. If I go out on stage and they don't show up, I'm done.
Yeah.
But they always do. I trust them. But you have to respect it too.
You're right.
You have to be grateful. You have to be grateful. You have to be grateful for what you have in life and who's around you, whether it be in spirit or whether it be people like you guys in life. I'm grateful for all of you that are in my life, in my circle, just the people I have at hand's distance too, that I enjoy. But, again, I'm guarded and all that, but, I'm going to be the first person. If you reach out to me and you ask for help, I will help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just who I am. And maybe I overdo it sometimes. Maybe I say yes too much, but I just think it's important. You have to be there for each other as a human being. And I'm there for the spirit world too. That's what I do. Hey, Melissa, my favorite Seraphine. So
design the thing for
she's
the
best.
All right.
By the way, if I can say one thing, can I say one thing before we go?
Yeah.
My show tomorrow night is now officially sold out. So we are sold out.
Yes. Thank you guys. It's one about
thank you. Yeah. Awesome. I don't know who bought them. I don't know, but
I'd like to get there early so I can meet you before you. What time do you go on? What time do you go in?
5:30.
Fuck. I work till about 3. I'm 2 hours north. I live by Mount
Oh, you are? Oh.
I live up there. I live by Bangor, past Bangor, going towards Canada. I get Canadian radio in my car, for God's sake.
Oh, my gosh.
Who's étoile que l'étoile? Oh, crazy. I have no clue what the fuck they're saying, The fast man.
Got the French Canadians.
Man, I'll put it in my GPS. I'm actually going south tomorrow to go to Old Orchard Beach, where my girlfriend lives. We're going to the festival on Saturday. So if I get a chance, I'd love to get there early. Maybe meet you in the parking lot, get a selfie, talk, shake your hand, man. It'd be a privilege.
Yeah, that'd be great. No, I'd love to see
You've been a blast, Scott, man. Check out your show every Wednesday, right? Every Wednesday
night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. You could check it out, Spirit Talk Live on YouTube, Facebook, and And you always post the link to it anyway. So you always post it.
Man, you're we got to talk more. Thomas, always a fucking pleasure, you bastard. I'd give you both a kiss right now.
Glorious weirdos.
So you check out Scott's show. Like I said, check out and the show next week. Guess what my guest is? The guy that played it in the alien suit that had his tongue sticking out at Sigourney Weaver in Aliens, the movie.
Oh man!
Really?
Yes.
That's gonna be awesome.
And I don't pay for this shit. I just reach out. They always say yes. Fuck it.
Isn't that crazy?
That'd be neat. But how did it feel to tongue Sigourney Weaver on set? That's dope. You know what I mean? Fucking A. So Boston Medium Scott Allan, Spirit Talk Live with Scott Allan. He's all over the place. Check out your website, Facebook, YouTube. To follow Historical the Booking, I share the shit out of him. Killing it. Appreciate you, Diego. Let's Find Out podcast. He's accepting a sponsorship, by the way. Message me if you want to sponsor his show, guys. Nice. Thomas Patrick Gormley, Paracon, Paraconn. Find out all the events you're running that page.
.org. Yeah.
And we're gonna get you guys back on because I could talk to you guys for another 3 hours. So
sounds good.
All right, see you next week. Yes, Brandon, check out Carl next week. That'd be dope.
Thank
you guys. Historically Haunted on YouTube. This will be up in the archives forever. I got like 800 episodes. So Scott Allan, Thomas Patrick Gormley,